Hi, Elvis fans. So this video is about Linda Thompson, and she was with Elvis for about 4.5 years, from 1972 to 1976, I think. And they met when she was asked by a friend to go to the Memphian Theatre in Memphis. She was a local girl. She had been Miss Tennessee, and she reluctantly went to the theatre with her friend. Let's listen to Larry King just interviewing her and seeing what kind of questions he asks her. Thanks a lot.
Were you inseparable those 4 years?
And it's well known that the first year of their relationship, that they spent every day and night together for a whole year, for 365 days. They really did hit it off, and Elvis really pursued Linda Thompson. He was fascinated by her, and the fact that she was a local girl from Memphis, a southern girl with her kind of values that Elvis respected.
Would you say you didn't see other guys, you didn't see other girls?
I certainly didn't see any other guys.
Linda was a very innocent girl. Elvis Presley was her first lover. She was completely faithful to Elvis, which wasn't true about Elvis. She knew eventually, after that first year, that Elvis did see other girls, which did cause many arguments.
You think he saw other girls?
I know he saw other girls. Not the first year. The first year we were together, I think he broke his world record, for having been faithful.
How did you know?
And this is where Elvis sort of lets all of his partners down. He just couldn't be faithful. I actually think he wanted to be faithful. And I think that some of these girls, especially the ones like Linda Thompson, who he really did spend a lot of time with, and he actually truly liked them, maybe even was in love with them, he wanted to be faithful to them, but he just couldn't do it. The temptation was too strong.
Oh, he did after that.
I know that he didn't, because we were together the first year.
No, but after that, how you
365 days for that first year, 24 hours a day. And after that, he couldn't do much without it being public knowledge.
And I see this. The most famous man on the planet, everything he did was being watched. He was being pursued. He couldn't really be with anyone without either one camera or newspaper or film crew or someone just seeing what he was getting up to. So he was never going to get away with what he was doing.
And certainly I was no dummy. And
Did you have fights?
We had arguments about it, and, again, I tried to reconcile in my mind, this is Elvis Presley. I understand that he is secluded from the rest of the world, and it's not all about sex. It's not all about being physically unfaithful to me.
And I believe this. I don't think with Elvis it was just about finding the next person to sleep with. He really was always looking for soulmates, and someone that he could be deep with and really communicate with. Someone to understand himself, his true self. And I think he was always yearning to meet these people that could affect and change how he thinks, how he sees himself. And he was a searcher, and he was always trying to fill a gap, I think. But Linda Thompson, she was a very smart and beautiful woman that really got Elvis. She really understood him. And I think Linda Thompson was really good for Elvis.
He wanted to be surrounded with other people who might bring different ideas into his life.
Did he defend it, or?
No, he apologized for it when he was caught. Most of the time he denied it.
And yes, Elvis always tried to deny things, I think, in all relationships that he had. But I also think he oftenly regretted it and just wished it never happened. But again, the temptation creeps in and gets him.
And it was a struggle.
If you had him dead to rights,
Yeah,
apologized.
then he apologized profusely and said, you're the only person I love and nobody ever compares to you. And every time I have an indiscretion, it just makes me realize how much more you mean to me and
You
how.
forgave him.
And I would always forgive him.
And in Linda's own words, I would always forgive him. And just how many people would forgive Elvis, and not just girlfriends, friends and family. He had a temper and he could be very difficult. But they would forgive him because he was a wonderful, tender, loving human being that really cared about his friends and family and girlfriends. And it was really important to him that the people around him were happy. And he was so generous to all these people. But that doesn't excuse his behavior. And Linda Thompson even saved Elvis's life. And she was like a nurse for Elvis towards the end. And was very upset about him taking these tablets, these pills, prescribed medication. She clearly says Elvis didn't drink alcohol and the tablets he took were not the street type tablets like heroin and cocaine, etc. And he felt that the things he was taking were good for him and were helping him. But he was so wrong. Now, Linda Thompson, to me, is one of my favourite of the girlfriends that he had. I genuinely believe that she was a good, decent person and was not after his money. I think she truly loved him and really wanted the best for him and hoped to help heal him. And she clearly says that Elvis always said that even though he received a lot of love from the world, that the type of love that he received was not the right kind of love because it wasn't a personal love for him, the true person that he was in his heart. Anyway, I could go on forever about Linda. I think she's lovely. But this romance was never meant to be. And Linda, in the end, was so frightened that she would find Elvis dead one day that she couldn't stand it anymore. She didn't want to live the life of a vampire where they were awake all night and asleep all day. And she just didn't see a future with Elvis because she wouldn't want a child to grow up in that world. So they were never going to have children. So eventually she left. And then this obviously opened the door for Ginger Alden. And some people say that if Linda was still with Elvis Presley when he had his heart attack, would she have saved him? Big question. Thanks a lot.